Welcome to the Black Gay History Channel. Please share this video and subscribe to this channel for more captivating content. Doubt is the critically acclaimed religious drama that premiered in 2008 but tells an older tale of a Catholic school in 1960s New York, where racial discrimination and allegations of sexual abuse tear apart the staff and the families involved. This incredible film, which stars the likes of movie legend Meryl Streep, Viola Davis, and Philip Seymour Hoffman, is actually based on a Tony Award-winning stage play of the same name that debuted in 2004. Doubt tells the tale of a Catholic middle school in the Bronx in 1964 that welcomes their first black student, Donald Miller, to their roster. Joseph Foster plays Donald Miller, a quiet and mild-mannered middle school student who isn't making any new friends at his all-white school, except for the relatively new priest presiding over the school and parish, Father Flynn. Father Flynn is beloved and embraced by his new parish, and also seems to be less strict and more open to reform at the church. Meryl Streep plays Sister Aloysius, the strict and feared head nun at the school, who begins to sense there's an inappropriate relationship forming between the new parish leader and the new black student. The director and writers of this film do a great job of confusing the audience. In the beginning of the film, it's easy to dislike Sister Aloysius. She's incredibly uptight, and all the children at the school are terrified of her. And she has hang-ups that in this day and age seem ridiculous. And with Father Flynn, he's relaxed, makes jokes, and his sermons leave the parishioners feeling warm and comforted every week. But as the show progresses, it seems that there are possible inconsistencies in the reasons for alone time between Father Flynn and the quiet new altar boy Donald Miller, who has no other friends than Father Flynn. Amy Adams plays Sister James, a relatively new teacher at the school who, like us, the viewer, seems caught between her love of Father Flynn and her doubts that there in fact could be something happening between Father Flynn and Donald. When I tell you Meryl Streep can deliver a movie part, her role as Sister Aloysius is superb. At the beginning of the film, I didn't want to like her because it seemed as if she was more concerned with maintaining her power and influence over the school, eliminating Father Flynn to keep her position. But as the story unfolds, you realize that she indeed cares for her students and truly believes something suspicious is going on. To her credit, as she mentions, this issue hadn't been unheard of in her line of work, which is why she was incredibly vigilant to pay attention to the behaviors of her students and fellow employees. The Catholic Church is now infamous for verified allegations of abuse of minors, so a nun taking this issue seriously should be applauded. Father Flynn seems wise and easygoing, is a great teacher, and is even one of those educators that isn't scared to check or reprimand a bully. But why exactly did he get transferred from his last parish, and why is he against Sister Aloysius finding that out? This film was my first time seeing Viola Davis act in a film, and though I didn't even know her name at the time, I was completely blown away and I had to find out who she was. And apparently I wasn't the only one. Though her role in this movie is relatively short, talent only needs 10 minutes to knock your socks off. This role would catapult her into superstardom. It wouldn't be long before she began to start slaying the Emmy and Oscars and other iconic roles. In a quick but heated exchange, Sister Aloysius reaches out to Donald's mother, Mrs. Miller, to let her know that something inappropriate may be happening between her son and the priest. But in a shocking turn of events, Mrs. Miller tries to downplay and avoid the conversation altogether, repeating it's just till June, which is when Donald will head to high school. In frustration, the sister lays out in plain words that what may be at stake for her son's physical safety, and Mrs. Miller finally breaks down and explains why she feels there's little that can be done. In a heartfelt truth bomb, Mrs. Miller in her own way explains that Donald is gay, and he was bullied for it, which is why he was transferred from his last school. Not only had students figured him out, so did his father, who beat him relentlessly for it. She explains to the sister that if one more scandal comes up for Donald, he could be transferred to another school with even less prospects. His father or the other kids could kill him. Exposing this new rumor without verified evidence would only damage her fragile son's life all the more. Mrs. Miller laments that the only friend and support he has is Father Flynn, and that maybe the relationship, whatever it may be, is okay until he graduates to high school. I think there were so many reasons why Mrs. Miller wouldn't fight this. Realizing that her black gay son has so few options in 1960s America that outing the situation to the entire community would possibly ruin his life. There are so many different ways in which I tried to wrap my head around what may or may not have happened. And this movie has a great way of bringing up debates between viewers about what they feel actually happened. Maybe Father Flynn was a gay priest who just wanted to mentor a student he realized was also gay. Maybe he wasn't gay and he just went out of his way to be compassionate to a student who truly needed it. Or maybe he was taking advantage of a child who was already struggling, something that predators set out to do. Have you all seen Doubt? After seeing this film, did you think Father Flynn was innocent or guilty? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.